DioThrive is so convinced that you'll love their service, they're offering your first month of supplies free. Simply type the code DOC, D-O-C, at checkout. DioThrive.com. That's D-I-A Thrive.com.
There's a new food show sheriff in town, Podna. Trey's Chowdown Podcast Live will feature celebrity chefs and pitmasters with celebrity mixologists with creative cocktail menus from distilleries statewide. We'll have farmers, ranchers, wildlife expert, fishermen, and more, all for the culinary world and the foodies. Live from the Spoony Studios on the iHeartRadio platform, Trey's Chowdown Podcast Live.
And here we are back for another Friday of Trey's Chowdown Live. And, as always, I'm here with Patrick in there and Ron in there and Ghost Spirits here in the studio. And we're here today with Chef Manny. Chef.
Hey, how you doing, Trey?
Good. How you doing today, brother?
See you, man.
Good to see you. We're going to get into what Chef Manny does and how long his career has been. I'm excited to have Chef Manny here today with us. So we're going to get right down to it, Manny.
All right, Chef.
All right, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about where you started. When did you start cooking? Well, first of all, where are you from?
Okay, I'm actually from the north side of here, Fort Worth, and my grandmother actually was a caterer. She did her moles for like quinceañeras and weddings, so I was around it all of my life, and so that's kind of where I got the bug. I think it was my grandmother. She started me off, teaching me how to cater when I was a little kid.
You said quinceañera. I can never say that word right.
It's basically the 15th celebration.
Quinceañera. Yeah, and they spend lots of money on those.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. It's a big event for coming out for a young Hispanic girl.
I used to see a lot of them they produce down there at River Ranch and Stockyards, and my gosh, they'd spend $30,000-$40,000 on those things.
Absolutely, it's a lot. Yeah, it's a big party. It's a lot of family.
A lot of family. Yeah, it's important at that age, I guess, for those guys. So you started with your grandmother.
Yes.
And then where'd you go from there?
So anyway, I actually moved to Atlanta in 1995, right before the Olympics, and I had kind of like a crossroads. I was wondering, hey, listen, what do I want to do with the rest of my life? And so I had a decision to make, and so I ended up going to culinary school in Atlanta.
Awesome.
And at the same time, I landed a job at a high-end, kind of busy Southern cuisine restaurant called the Horseradish Grill, and so I was doing both. So working in the restaurant, going to school in daytime, and that's really where it started.
So what was culinary school like for you?
I was really excited to be accepted to the culinary program, and so what I learned from it was a lot of structure, a lot of the terminology and all the things that my grandmother had taught me, right? But I didn't know how to actually teach it and or what the terminology behind it was.
Sure.
And so, and this is a lot of things with cooks that I meet today. They're doing a lot of the things that they teach you in culinary school. They just don't know that that's the terminology of what those things are.
Or how to execute it, right?
Absolutely.
What was the name of the culinary school?
I went to Arts Institute of Atlanta.
And are they still there?
Yes, they are.
Okay, because all the culinary schools now are closing down. So
yeah, I've watched the Cordon Bleu go away and things like that. So yeah, it's still there. And so so that I just kind of just started my independent restaurant world in Atlanta. And so I just worked my way through it's funny because I started the Horseradish Grill and I was going to school.
I like that name, Horseradish Grill.
Yeah, so it was really driven by this little amphitheater called the Chastain Amphitheater. We were half a block away, so concerts Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And so we had a lot of business come our way. So it really showed me, hey, how busy a restaurant should be. And that's really, I think I learned as equally both at culinary school and at work. It's actually, I actually teach that now. I think that if you're doing both, it accelerates the time and to get you up the ladder.
That's unusual what you did, because lots of times people just go to culinary school. They don't work a full-time job too. So that was kind of, how long did culinary school take you?
This program is a 2-year program, but if you did it straight, it was 18 months.
18 months.
18 months.
So you'd worked that. So what was your favorite thing in culinary school? What was the favorite thing you grabbed out of culinary school that you enjoyed the most?
I think the actual discipline of going back to school. I went back to school at a later age. I think it was 35 when I went back to culinary school. So this career started late for me.
Right.
And so I think the discipline of just going to school again and kind of getting things where, hey, listen, this is what you're learning, and then hopefully one day you'll be able to transfer or teach it and things like that. Give it to someone else.
But also too, one good thing about going later in life is you're more susceptible to learning. Sometimes when you're younger, you have all kinds of stuff going on. You're trying to pay bills or get your career started. Sometimes you learn a little bit more as you get older.
Yeah.
Like I know I have. I know that the older I get, the more I learn, the more I listen.
Well, that's, it's funny because that's the discipline of going to school that late. And also, when I was there, I had a bunch of young people coming out of high school going to school at the same time I was going, and it just was a different. I could see that they're just getting started and just in life in general, and I was down the road a bit, so I knew that I was going to put a lot of work into it because I needed to get it out and accelerate my learning curve because I was starting so late.
Yeah. So the Horseshoe Grill. Now let's talk about that. Was that not
Horseradish
Grill?
Yeah.
Was that a place that y'all changed the menus a lot? Was it different kind of cuisine?
Chef driven, seasonal change menus and things like that. And it really taught me a lot. And while I was working there, I had about 3 or 4 sous chefs that were actually culinary graduates and working up the ladder. So it's kind of like when you start a place like that, as everybody moves up the ladder and they get their own place, then you have you're kind of a disciple of all of these people. And so it's kind of like what I learned in Atlanta, that's 900 miles away.
Right.
I bring back to Fort Worth, and there's a lot of things that I learned there that you don't see every day here in Fort Worth.
Right.
So I like that part because then I can transfer that over here to the students that we train at our program.
It is amazing to me the different culinary dishes and stuff in different regions of the world. It's so funny. Different regions of the United States, the world. You can have one culinary cuisine dish here and go in one state away, and it's totally different. It just changes. It's phenomenal.
Exactly. So this was a Southern cuisine restaurant, and so what the rules were, you could go down to North Carolina and as far west as Louisiana, New Orleans. And so if anything in that southern region there, you could put on the menu. But at that time, I couldn't do anything with like Tex-Mex or anything.
You had to limit to the actual region you were in.
Exactly.
Oh, that's kind of neat though.
Yeah, but you learn a lot of things. I didn't know anything about some of the things that I put on the menus. Eventually, it's like Chow, and it's funny because I've learned a lot about what you can the terminology of Southern cuisine if you just research the area.
Yeah. So is there anything that you found in your career of being a chef that won't translate from there to here as far as food wise, or does it matter? You can take, if you're there and you learn something there, or if you're in Miami, it's a Latin cuisine, or if you're in LA, if you bring it here, have you ever noticed that stuff that somebody just not acceptable here that doesn't take?
It's funny because it's funny that whenever people ask you about wine pairings and things like that, it's always you go back to the earth, kind of thing. So it's really it's the cuisines can marry each other, but I think that it's the where the things are grown and things like that. That's kind of where it limits. Hey, this you're going to find the best of this here, and so it's harder to get that somewhere else in the country. That kind of thing.
I guess a lot of stuff has to be flown in here overnight, or or found or at a farm here that and everything is so fresh nowadays that a lot of stuff is that way now anyway. But I guess geographically that's true.
Yeah. Well, the thing is too is that what we have here in Texas, I mean, it's a surplus, and so why not use what we do have here and cater your menus towards us, the Texas way.
Yeah. So so you were there, and then after that, what was your next stint after that?
Okay. So what happened was that I worked there for 2 years, and so I was wanting to get some more cuisines under my belt. So I ended up going to this place. It was called Babette's, named after the Babette's Feast.
Oh, yeah, Babette's.
And it was a French country restaurant, and so I learned a little bit about French country cuisine.
That's neat.
And so and usually I would try to give each restaurant at least a year, maybe 2, to learn the cuisine, to learn the business. And so that's really what I started doing. I started at Horseradish Grill. I went to Babette's, did a little stint there, and then I moved on to catering. And
that's a different world.
It sure was. That was it was driven by a lot of pharmaceutical reps and things like that. So that business was really.
That's because they got the money.
Yeah, exactly. And so I learned a lot about the catering business there, and then I actually helped open up a restaurant. Had some bar owners that needed a restaurant guy, and so I had a first time to get my menu out there, and so that was called the Black Bear Tavern. And then we just, it's like...
I like that name, Black Bear Tavern.
So we had a couple of years there, and then I still wanted more cuisine under my belt. So I ended up going to a place called the Georgia Grill. Not after Georgia the state, after Georgia O'Keeffe.
Oh, okay.
So it had that southwestern feel to it.
Okay. Was that still in Atlanta?
Still Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
So I'm popping around Atlanta, and this is a
Well, you're just soaking it up like a sponge, aren't you?
yeah. Well, this is a 10-year journey.
Oh,
at the
wow.
time. So anyway, so after the Georgia Grill,
You don't look a day over 30, by the way. So I don't know how you did a 10-year journey.
yeah. So yeah, but the thing was that finally the Horse Raiders Grill, they were interviewing for the executive chef position, the place that I started at. So this is a 10-year journey, and then finally I went and interviewed, and so they hired me. So
You went back.
as the executive
chef.
Yeah. So it took 10 years to get the cuisines, the knowledge. And so I was full circle and got back to the Horse Raiders Grill.
For somebody who's listening to understand, define French country cuisine. How would you define?
Cassoulet, those types of things. Just and it's all very, very French driven. So that all the beurre blancs and things like that. So it's really classical, classical French cuisine. That
Sure.
kind of thing.
And is that place still there?
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, it's nice because this is a 22-year journey.
That's a rare deal.
So there's all the restaurants that I actually work at still exist.
So you went back and got been executive chef there.
Exactly.
And they give you the free run that you could do everything you wanted to do?
Absolutely. With the limitations of the North Carolina to
Oh, yeah. Those are the limitations you had.
New Orleans, that kind of thing. But,
So when you did your dishes, when you created a dish, Manny, or when you were down there, I'm sure it's anywhere now, but because you by 10 years you kind of know you have a system down for yourself.
Yeah.
What's your inspiration in creating a dish, whether it be French country or whether it be there or here? What is your inspiration? How do you create a dish?
Well, the thing is that while you're having your seasonal menu running, we always had specials during the night, and every night you have a special, and what you're trying to really capture is, hey, what's moving here? What can I create that's going to be moving? And during that time frame, you can see something that's moving really well, and that's kind of where you say, you know what, that one's going to go on the next menu. I like the way it moved. I like the way it presented itself. So I think that's you trial and error kind of thing, but you're always looking to push the envelope a little bit for your own. I guess for me, it's like just your creativity.
Right.
You want to use what your knowledge is, but you always want to be creating something.
Sure. Was it when you created a dish? How many times did it take you for you to get that dish correct? Like take 3 times, 10 times, 20 times? What? The thing it's interesting because it's trial and error a lot of times, but a lot of times it was more that. We had a lot of really nice vendors that fresh fish, from the coast. And so it was almost, as long as you're starting with great quality, things seem to come together pretty well. Quickly.
Exactly.
I guess when you've been doing it 10 years, it's
yeah, it was all right.
And it's funny to listen to the chefs talk about, because everybody has their own system and their own way of creativity. So it's neat. And it is an art form.
Yeah.
I do think being a chef is an art form, and I believe the way you have to create and you have to plate. And you have to work people in the kitchen. You've got to be able to be a creator, an artist, and be able to manage people in the kitchen. It's a tough deal.
Yes, it is. And the thing is that's why I enjoy meeting other chefs and working side by side with other chefs, because that knowledge that they have and their style. You can bring 4 chefs together. They're not going to have any of the same style, but they're always going to have the same results if they're doing the right thing.
What was your favorite dish there to cook? What was your favorite? If you had to list one, what would be your favorite one?
The lobster enchilada.
Lobster enchilada.
Yeah.
That sounds really good.
Yeah. So we have to.
I'm a fan of lobster. I'm a fan of enchiladas.
There you go. So I try to be, I bring some of these things that I learned in Atlanta back to my family, and a lot of times they'll ask me, hey, let me have that recipe, and I'm like, if I give you that recipe, then it's not going to be special when I make it.
I'm gonna have to kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how'd you make a lobster enchilada? What start to finish? How's that work?
No, it really starts out with a cream-based sauce, and then you're going to go ahead and actually the lobster itself. You can buy it, really pre-cooked if you wanted to, or steam up your own lobster, chill it down, roll it up with some Monterey Jack cheese and sauce, and it sets up really nicely because you set it up ahead of time, and then you just throw them in the oven, bake them off with a little bit of sauce and cheese, and there it goes. But it's so rich with lobster. I think that's where people enjoy it.
It just sounds delicious.
All right,
just sounds delicious. What was your favorite thing to eat when you were living in Atlanta? If you had a favorite dish to eat, what would it have been in Atlanta and in that region?
Yeah, and so some of the things that I was turned on to, I guess, was like a smoked barbecue duck, that kind of thing, with the North Carolina style barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
And so you did a lot of stuff like that. Of course, you can't go wrong with eating a steak every once in a while.
No, you can't.
So I always dabble into different types of marinades and things like that.
Is beef as big there as it is here?
Yes, it is actually. It's Atlanta is the thing is that when I moved to Atlanta, it was in '95, right before the Olympics.
Right.
Within 3 years of that, 2 million people moved there. And so the whole
I guess the
scene,
Olympics put them on the map.
yes, it did. I mean, you know,
Okay.
it really did. It made it, you know, just really a destination city. And after that, so I was just watching you know, they just have a little a clock that said, hey, there's 2 million people living here now. And then it went up to 4 million in 2 years. And I'm like, wow, there's a lot of people coming.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And so, but you know, but then the restaurant scene exploded as well. I think it bring a lot of chefs into town, and I think it just the spotlight on Atlanta itself helped the cuisine out.
And so you did that. And how long were you there? How long was your last stint there?
I stayed there for 13 years.
Oh wow!
So
that's a long time.
Yeah, so it was home for that long. So yeah, so but you know, I'm from here, so things, you know, I guess, you know, blessed to come back home. Actually,
Sure.
you know, my parents are here, and so I was just
Your mom's here.
my mom, yeah.
Yeah.
And she actually, it's a funny story, but she actually helps where we work out now at the food bank. She actually comes in and does tamales for us once a year.
Right.
And my sister comes to town.
And I've missed those 2 years in a row. I've missed it.
Well, we're gonna have to get you on the
I know.
calendar.
I want to be on the VIP list for that
There
deal.
you go. Yeah. So it's funny because I never would have dreamed that I could have my mom side by side working with me in one of the kitchens in Atlanta. But here, you know, at the food bank, we have her come in once a year, and it's a great thing. And it's you know, it's family driven. That's what tamales are all about.
Sure.
You know, families get together.
That's
stories.
right.
And
I
so,
did a big tamale show for ABC at Christmas. You know, for over there and on the Victor Plaza studio for 2 hours. It was a 2-hour show.
Yeah.
And brought different tamales. You know, had different tamales, and it was a fantastic show. But that's one thing they talked about was family. You know, because it started with family making them and stuff. And I learned a lot about that.
Yeah. Well, you know, because when you get the families together, you know, you might have some teenage boys there, and they can eat. So as you're making these tamales, it's pretty intense work. I mean, it's a lot of work actually. And so the actual, we have a student of ours. She coined the phrase "no makey, no takey." So if you don't put the time in, your son's not going to be able to eat a dozen here, and that's going to be the end of your. Yes,
That's funny. No makey, no takey. That's funny. Jack Nicholson, you know, the movie star, he's got a thing. He says, "No ticky, no laundry." It's basically the same thing. You don't pay. You don't have a ticket to pay for it. You don't get it.
There you go. That's
funny.
Yeah.
So when you first came back here, where were you? Because I met you like 4 or 5 years ago, but I don't know what you did before that.
Yeah. So I landed actually at the Southern Cuisine restaurant in the Worthington Hotel.
Okay.
At Vidalia's, and so.
Vidalia's, yeah.
Yeah. So when I came back to town, you know what the beauty of it all is that I met a lot of chefs that were already here and established, and they didn't know me from anybody really.
Right.
And so they were very gracious and handed out my resume and really directed me to where I needed to go. And so I had a Southern Cuisine background, so they guided me to Vidalia's. So I was there for a year and a half, and then same thing. Somebody told me about the food bank opportunity, and this is it's a very great program. You know, teaching people to a new chance, second chance of life. So I was like, man, this might be something that I could do. And so lo and behold, came over there to the food bank, and I was amazed at the kitchen that they had.
Yeah, too. We're going to get into that too.
Yeah.
I want to ask you a question about Vidalia's though. Okay. It's kind of underrated because no one talks about it. And the 3 times or 4 times I've eaten there, it's always been very good.
Yeah.
And it's always been by accident that I go there.
Okay.
Like I didn't even know. I knew it was because Grady Spears had a restaurant there.
Absolutely.
One time. That was before Vidalia's, correct? Yes.
Correct. Uh-huh.
And it was really good. But then after that, I didn't even know Vidalia's existed. And we were in the hotel one night. Having some cocktails there, talking with some people, and I saw it, and we went in there and we had dinner, and it was good.
Yeah,
and I've been back a few times, but it's not talked about. Why is that?
Well, it's really difficult when you're going to a city, destination city, whatever, and you're at the hotel. You want to go explore the city. And
sure.
So really, it's very difficult for a restaurant to strive, and people go to it as because everybody's actually getting out of the hotel.
Right.
They want to go, or they're in a banquet situation with weddings and things
right.
like that they have. So I found that it was very. I mean, I liked our product. I thought everything was great. It's just that we didn't have a lot of clientele because everybody was going other places in the city.
Right.
So, but for everybody in the hotels, you have to really. It's banquets. It's everything else. It's a big team of I guess culinary.
Yeah.
When you're hotel driven.
If you walk in there though, and I've traveled when you start restaurant. I traveled for years and years and years and years, and there's a certain feel of a actual hotel, motel, whatever you want to call it, restaurant. And that one never had that. That one always had, Vadai's always had the feel of a little more upscale, a little more, not really a hotel. Is it run by the hotel now?
Yes, it is. And
okay, so the whole staff's run by the hotel?
Yeah, so the thing about it's a Marriott property now, and it's a Renaissance brand. And so any Renaissance brand and hotel has to have its own standalone restaurant. So that's kind of,
is that the only one there?
Yep.
Okay. So they do all the stuff for all the rooms and stuff through there?
Yeah, like they do the room service, they do the restaurant and the breakfasts and things like that. But then you have your banquet staff that does all the big events and things.
And who controls the menus there for that?
It's the executive chef overseeing everything. But there's different pockets of different chefs that actually garde manger to line cooks and things like that. So
cool.
There's a lot of different variety of people run that thing.
Okay. So you came back and you did that, and then you went to work at what we know now as a food bank. And you know what? Here's what I don't like. When the word food bank has such a, when you talk to people, it has a derogatory meaning. And when truth be known, everything the food bank does is not derogatory at all. They do so much positive stuff for the community. They have the culinary program. They do all these other programs. They have dinners. They do all kinds of stuff that absolutely, and the facilities are phenomenal.
Absolutely.
And I wish we could figure out a way, and I've thought about this for 4 or 5 years now since I've been down there helping you. I wish we could figure out a way to make it more appealing to everybody.
Exactly.
Because for some reason it had the food bank is, and maybe that's why we call it TAFB. But
yeah, the thing is that what I've learned about this nonprofit world is that the city that you're in has a lot to do with what these things look like. And our city of Fort Worth, we have a lot of giving people.
Yeah. And
so, and as well as on our side, as far as the culinary, we have all these chefs that come and donate their time, and you've done a great job promoting us as well. And so what we're trying to do is just get the message out. And I think that all the chefs that come in and donate their time and teach our students and then take them as interns, it's just a win-win all across the board. And so the more, awareness to this, I think the more spotlight, more shine it gives to it. But I'll tell you, this community deserves a big pat on the back for just what they do to help the food bank.
It's huge. And I've seen food banks in other parts. I've seen food banks in East Texas and West Texas. They're nothing like Terranera Food. I mean, it is phenomenal. The facilities, the people, you just enlarged again. I know.
Absolutely. We've had 2 projects in the last 4 years, and we had our new offices built, and then we just renovated our warehouse to make it more functional. It's just this business. I mean, well, it's really it's a giving business, but the food itself, it just needs to be distributed correctly, and that's what we are really proud of. We have restructured our warehouse so that the flow of food to get to the people is 100% better. Yeah. And the thing is that there's always going to be a need for distribution of food that would go to waste to get it to people that need.
I don't think the average person realizes how much food is wasted in America, how much food's wasted just in our community, in Tarrant County, how much stuff comes into y'all. And the grocery stores now, everybody's under such strict guidelines now for just not for health reasons, but for their own personal reasons. Yeah. That y'all get truckloads and truckloads and truckloads down
there. Absolutely. And a lot of times when I first got to the food bank, we're the food bank, the bank, and the food is the money. And so we have to have agencies that are qualified to take that money or that food and distribute it correctly. So I've learned a lot over the years that what we provide is really just helping people in need get the food, and also our truck drivers, everybody that from top to bottom, everybody is on this mission to fight hunger, and I'm telling you that I think that we're doing a great job.
I remember working there. Was it last year? Days run together for me, so if I'm wrong, correct me. But I remember working there. When was the deal in Houston? When was the flood? 2 years ago? When was the Houston flood?
Yeah, I think it was 2 years ago.
I could not believe the stuff that was coming in and was going out and the help. I mean, that was just I got to see the inner workings. That was right before y'all remodeled, and I kind of got to. That's when I really got to see the inner workings of how awesome it was, how everybody worked together to help get food down there. To help get food to people that need it.
Absolutely, and that's the thing. I think when there's a disaster, when there's need, it's not only it takes a village. We always say that kind of thing. But it takes a village, but it's community. It's food bank. It's a lot of things. And I think that what we provide is goodwill,
Yeah.
and so.
You provide a lot more than goodwill. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, that's you like that. Y'all's program is phenomenal. And I just can't say enough about it. But
Yeah.
we're going to go to a little commercial break here because we're capitalist, and for some reason these people putting on this station like to pay bills. So
right.
we're going to go to a little commercial break here in a second. Then when we come back, we're going to talk about the culinary program.
Right.
And everybody at the food bank and what that does and all the events we got coming up.
Okay.
Because the culinary program is super important to me, and I help y'all with that program, as does a lot of chefs, a lot of chefs in Tarrant County. I'm excited to talk about it. So when we come back, we're going to talk about that. We'll see y'all in a few minutes.
All right.
Dr. Ken Brown here, host of Gut Check Project with my co-host Eric Rieger. Eric, we've been seeing Mojo guys over there and over here at Spoony talk about Atrantil for bloating. I've seen in my practice that Atrantil is a whole lot more than just a bloating product.
Yes, it does a whole lot more than just fix bloating because of the polyphenols that you find in Atrantil.
You're exactly right. The polyphenols are those molecules that we find in the Mediterranean diet. It makes vegetables and fruits very colorful. What are some of the things that these polyphenols do, Eric?
These polyphenols can actually stop inflammation. They can help you have more energy. They can help you with anti-aging. And polyphenols are great for athletes.
It sounds like it's going to help a whole lot more people than just bloating. Tell me how everybody should be taking Atrantil.
If you want to dose Atrantil, it's 2 capsules 3 times a day, basically with your meals. But if you aren't bloated and you just want that polyphenol intake every day, 2 to 3 capsules a day will work for you.
Go to lovemytummy.com/Spoony.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All-American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-570-6630. 800-570-6630. That's 800-570-6630. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
It looks like you're losing.
I am.
Are you losing weight?
I am losing. I've lost about 10 pounds.
How are you doing it?
Funny name, but I've done it with Riduzone. RADUzone.com, and the stuff works. It's, you get into all that, the molecule this and the found in that. All I can tell you is it makes you feel full, and it keeps your mind off of wanting to overeat.
And also boosts your metabolism, so you're burning more.
Yeah,
Try it today. It's going to work for you like it's worked for Brad and countless other people. Riduzone.com. RIDUzone.com.
And we're back for another edition of Trey's Chow Down Live on Friday with Chef Manny. Okay, after the break, during the break, or before the break, Manny, well, during the break, too, we're talking about it.
Okay.
I want to talk about your commercial you did for the new Tex Rail.
Yeah,
Let's talk about this. The new Tex Rail runs from Fort Worth all the way to Dallas.
No, just to the airport. So this is our airport shuttle kind of thing. It's something that, I lived in Atlanta for 13 years, so we had MARTA there, and it was basically a rail system that takes you all around the city.
Sure.
Well, Fort Worth has opened a new Tex Rail, and it's downtown Fort Worth and 5 stops along the way to the airport to Terminal B. And
so there's 5 stops.
I think I think it's 5, but it might be 7. So the thing is what it is that though it's like a game changer. So you're able to take the airport into downtown Fort Worth. You can drop shop at Grapevine. There's also North Richland Hills, a couple stations, and one in stockyards. So you've got different options to get off. But it's something that now you, instead of fighting traffic, you just jump on the Tex Rail and get yourself home.
So that commercial was funny because so first of all, let's just set the scene. In this commercial for TV, you're juggling.
I'm the
right?
juggling chef. So if you ever see this little Tex Rail promo, and I think it's running on the Tex Rail trains as well, they're looking for the eclectic group of people that want to ride the train. And so we had the artists, we had the cellist, we had the opera singer, and we had the ballerina. And this is the story that when we shot it at the airport, we're all in character, and I'm juggling these oranges.
I remember.
And so the actual ballerina, she pirouettes in, so she slides right in front of me, and I haven't juggled in a long time. So anyway, so I guess she startled me, and I pummeled her with my oranges, and so then of course cut. But anyway, it really just messed. I don't know. Her tutu was all everywhere, so I was like, man, I'm so sorry. But anyway,
that had to be. You know what? That'd be one of the best
blooper reels. We need to find it.
Oh my God! You know they got it. She might not like. Was she okay?
Yeah, she's fine. She came out unscathed.
But was she a good sport about it?
She was. And so I don't know if we're friends, but I mean,
you're like me now. You've done a lot of TV and stuff and a lot of videos, and you know what it's like behind the scenes. It's crazy. A lot of people see the finished product, but unless we're live like this deal, they don't see what actually goes on. It's crazy what goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah, and the thing is that it's a little bit nerve wracking sometimes, but it's fun because at the end of the day, you get the message out and get the what you're actually like for us. We're just glad to be here to promoting ourselves for you.
So we're going to talk about the culinary school, which I am really proud of for Tarrant County and for what you do. And I know you're proud. Hang on, there's a difference. You have passion for it. Everybody at the Tarrant Area Food Bank has got passion for what they do there, including the culinary school. Everybody works that thing, puts in time. Miss B,
exactly.
D.
And the thing about it is that we had a great team, and Miss B and Chef D. It like I said, it takes the team to get this thing done, and so. We're real proud of what we've. I don't know. It's been a good journey, and so we are very proud of it.
It is. People still, and I've been pumping y'all for 5 years now, and people still like, what do you mean a food bank? They don't have any clue of what goes on at this culinary school, and we're going to lay it out for people because I want them to know, because I'm proud of what you do down there in D and everybody, and I'm very proud of the program. And I talk there, and I want people to understand it's important. They need to get invested in this program. So we're going to talk about it. So. The school. Let's start off with the program.
Okay.
It's a free program.
It is. It's a
free
exactly.
program.
And so it's a 16-week program. It's 14 weeks with us, and then we get a 2-week internship somewhere in the city. And how we drive that is that we bring in guest chefs. Button comes in, and Grover, all the chefs in town donate their time, and they come in and teach. And so hopefully they'll see something in our students, so they'll take them as interns. And so that's kind of the win-win part of that. But the thing is that along the way, I've been there for 9.5 years, and the thing is, all these guest chefs that come, and we just want the more the merrier, because everybody has a different style, everybody teaches a little bit differently, but we're all at the end of the day going for the same goals. And so what happens is that these chefs come in that you wouldn't be able to go knock on their door and get trained by them.
You wouldn't.
But they come there and teach our program. So what we try to, along the way, the chefs I've learned so much from the chefs up in town here, and we've put together what I think is the best 14 weeks with us that we can, first of all, the best that I would want to learn, and the best the things that I would need to learn. And so that's really, and so for free, and also it's
for
one of the
free.
Things, for
People
free.
don't understand this. For free, you have to be accepted in the program.
Yeah,
but it's free, and it's 14 weeks, and it's every day,
Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 3:30. And so you have ample time to get a job and work on the weekends and nights, and get yourself really into this industry and see that it's really for you, because there's culinary programs that you can pay for, but if you really just want to,
it's a stepping stone.
Yeah, and take a good look, and that's the thing about any education. What it is, it's an accelerator.
Right.
So if you have the education, it's going to accelerate your career. Now this industry is a tough industry, and it's
it'll eat you alive. It'll eat you alive.
It can. And so that's the thing. So we're trying to teach you the good and the bad, whatever that might happen in this industry, and we want to get you the knowledge. And maybe it's not for you. But what we liked about our students is that they come to our program, and maybe they find something in themselves just by going through the program. That, hey, you know what? I just took a look at this culinary thing, and it's not really what I thought it was going to be.
How often does that happen? Because that's really what you want, because you don't want somebody wasting their time. And how often does that happen?
Yeah, I'd say it happens at least with a couple of students a class.
Sure.
Because the thing is, but that doesn't mean that this culinary world, the food service industry, there's a lot of other things you can do besides being a chef.
Right.
And so those it's a wide variety of trades and jobs and things in here in the culinary world. But for our students, we'd like them to see what they have passion for, And you find out, hey, something about yourself when you go through a program. Like if you're there for 16 weeks and you make the journey.
You learn a lot about yourself in 16 weeks, 5 days a week.
Exactly. And so that's part of it is, hey, if you see that this is not for you, what is for you? What take a good look at inside yourself and what do you want to do the rest of your life? Because that's really what happens to anyone. If you have a passion for what you're doing, you're going to be a lot happier.
Now, and I've been there probably a million times. I've been there once in the last 5 years. I'm there every class, and I come in, I give lectures, and we talk, and I come in, and I film some of the chefs. Yeah. And I know in 14 weeks, how many different chefs do we see? 12, 14?
Yeah. At least.
At least.
And you know what lately is that, what we found recently is that we like to bring like tandems. So, we just like bringing them to work together. It's a good way to.
It's a lot of fun.
That's
educational, entertaining, and fun.
There you go. And you've had numerous chefs that have helped us in our program, on your program. So it's like, this is a great time to me. I mean, to watch all the chefs that come through. It just, I get excited. I do too. I love watching the different personalities of chefs. Oh my gosh, from the first chef to the last chef, each chef is totally different. I mean, the personality, the way they cook, the way they facilitate what they do, the recipes, the way the creations made. It's amazing. Yes, yeah, that's what we're proud of mostly. I mean, it's just because we have and the thing is, like I said, we have a lot of people that donate their time, and their resources to help us out, and so and we're looking forward to teaching anybody that we can possibly can. So that's the thing is that we're actually graduating a class tonight.
Right, you are.
And so and then Monday we start back up with our new class, and so it'll be class 39. And so what I'm looking forward to is that we've got 3 classes a year. Right. And so our next information sessions will be in July 8th and July 9th. And you can always look us up on tfb.org and find out, when our next information session is, kind of get an idea of what the program. So they're 4 months long, basically, and they're three classes a year. And so we're always in mode to find more students.
Right.
And so if anybody's out there wants to take a look at us, you tour the kitchen, come in and watch a demo, hey, we're more than happy to let you see that, because we'd love to, actually get anybody we can on board so we can teach.
Sure. So here, what's the process is they decide they want to do it. Then they go to tafb.com, right?
.org.
I'm sorry, tafb.org.
I should know that. You can go on there, and there's a little information on that you
fill
can
that out,
and then we're going to have an information session, and then attend one of those two information sessions, and we'll give you all the, you don't have to bring anything, just give you all what's going to happen, how what we do, what we expect, and things like that, and then we interview you one-on-one. And if we choose usually a team of 12 people,
right? And
so what we try to do is get the best 12 people we can that want to make this journey. They start off by themselves, but eventually they're going to be a part of this team.
It's a team, and there's no way the way y'all work in the kitchen. There's no way that it can't become a team. If someone can't be a team player, they don't need to be in the kitchen.
Yeah,
you can't be working in the kitchen with people. You have to be a team player, period.
Yeah, there's fire and knives, so it can be all kinds
that's right, fire and knives.
Yeah.
You remember? Who was it? I was at a cooking class over at Abacus in Dallas, and Chef Patrick and Chef Chad. I remember they give this cooking class, and the guy said, "Now, when you're in this class, I want you to think like everything in the kitchen's 500 degrees. Don't touch a thing in the kitchen unless you've got something to pick it up with." And that's kind of like when I go to the culinary school and I'm in the kitchen, because the whole thing's a big kitchen.
Yes,
and I'm always, is it hot? Is it not? You don't know. So I don't touch.
Yeah,
it's funny.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the facilities, because the facilities are fantastic there.
Absolutely.
The kitchen's huge. You've got 2 sides. You've got both sides.
Yeah, so we have a culinary training side, and each is equipped with like 2 convection ovens on either side, and then we've got a grill, a flat top, salamander, 6-eye. And then on the other side, we actually, and this is the part,
explain to everybody what salamander is.
It's just basically a broiler.
Right. Yeah, so, I know. But they say a lot on television now, too, on Food Network and stuff. And people, if you don't know, what's salamander?
Yeah.
It's exactly what it is.
It's a broiler. Yeah. So, and the thing is that, what our mission in the food bank is to fight hunger. So, like we said, the program is free. But during the time that the students are there, they're responsible for putting this pound meal that we produce into the food bank process to fight hunger.
Right.
So, and it's another training tool to teach people bulk cooking.
Right.
So while they're there on the production side, we do meals every day, and then that goes into the food bank process. And so they'll learn that style of cooking. They'll pay back by fighting hunger,
Right.
and then they get the culinary training free.
When you say you're talking about bulk cooking, I've seen it. It's bulk fresh cooking. It's the stuff y'all use, fresh ingredients to make the food.
Yes, exactly.
And it's good.
Yeah, exactly. So, and what we do is that, we take our donations from we have our account as well. We're part of the food bank, but
Sure.
so we have an account, and so we take things from that are donated and bring them into the kitchen. Turn what they call it VAP, a value added product. We turn that around, make a meal, and put it back into the process. So someone can go to our food bank and order online. They can get a already contained meal instead of having to cook themselves.
Sure.
So so we're trying to just I don't know, cut the middleman out. But
Right.
what I'm saying is what we're trying to do is
Fight hunger.
and have a variety of things that people can choose, and
Sure.
healthy. And we're big. Right now, we're really, really concentrating on food is health. So we're trying to really make sure that we do healthy products, healthy meals,
Yeah.
and keep everybody fed, but also the right way.
Right. And now the one thing you love, I've seen it twice, and I filmed it, and I think the video had 10 or 15,000 views. You remember the ice cream deal?
Yes, exactly.
So tell, because that was neat. You do that every class for those people?
It's what it is that we have a lot of actually, like Castleberry ISD, they bring their special needs
Right.
kids to come in and help
Right.
actually sort food and do things, and so we have a really good relationship with them. So what it is that we like to bring them and give them a little reward,
Right.
and so we make some liquid nitrogen ice cream for them.
Right.
So and it's really, it's a fun time, because the kids really enjoy it, and they really get it. And we teach a lot of different things to the kids around the Metroplex, but that particular.
But they really enjoy it, and I love watching their faces. I love seeing the kids light up. And then my grandkids were there one day. And,
Yes.
and you did some stuff, some strawberries. It was really neat.
Yeah. So it was nice that they were there, and so we try to do the. It's funny because the kids are really the ones that that are really affected by hunger, and so
most definitely.
And so
Most
you really
definitely.
anything we can do to promote and make kids happy. It's we're all on board for that kind of thing.
Right. I want to let's walk through. Let's walk through the process of culinary school when they start. I know it's hard to tell.
Okay.
To talk about this word day for day, day by day by day.
Yeah. And so
word for word. But they sign up, they come, they start their first day. Just kind of like let's take them through for the first 14 weeks how that works.
Okay. So basically we structured the culinary program over on the culinary book, and so we run through the book, and this is the accelerated part of this. Our program is only 14 weeks with us, and so we go through the whole book in 14 weeks.
Okay.
So some of the structure of that is like we want to make sure that you're going to be here down it every day, because we can't go backwards. We can't
Right.
redo things. So it starts off with everything that you need to start. Serve safe. Get all the safety things and on the out of the way, and then we start with demos. And so as soon as that first Friday hits, it's eggs demo 101, and then from that point forward, we're going through every cooking techniques 1, cooking techniques 2, and then we start bringing in guest chefs, and then we start doing beef and poultry.
Right.
Fish,
Biscuits,
grains, biscuits.
Yeah. What was it? What does Terry do? What's the bread?
The corn dodgers, and he does all kinds of
But what is she? There's a segment she calls it some kind of
the primitive breads.
Primitive breads. I could remember it.
So he's and that's another thing too. If you want to see a personality, that's one demo you want to.
Oh boy, I love Terry. I love. You know what?
He's great.
I love all the chefs that go down there.
Yeah.
Everybody's so giving, and some of the chefs, the reason they don't come, they don't know about it. Some of the chefs are really busy. They work in the corporate world. They work for these big restaurants, and it's hard for them to get away. But more would do it. Fort Worth is a very close knit community for them when it comes to chefs, and so I'm proud to see them all do it, and I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, me too. I mean,
I like watching them.
Exactly,
to be honest with you.
I do too. And so, it's funny because we're so connected, and we got a big event coming too.
Right.
This coming Wednesday, we got the Empty Bowls.
That's right.
And so we've got 40 chefs coming out to the Empty Bowls
That's
event.
right. And let's tell everybody. Hang on. Let's tell everybody. Let's back up. Let's tell everybody, because people that aren't listening. Tell them what Empty Bowl. Let's tell them what Empty Bowls is.
Okay. Yeah. So what it's been going on for quite a long time now. And so what it is that we have artist bowls and different types of bowls, and what it is that you pay your ticket price, and then you come in and you get to select one of those bowls. If you want to really upgrade to the artist table, you get like a little extra donation. You go to the artist table. But the thing is that
hang on, when you pick the types, these bowls are all done by different artists. There's hundreds of these bowls out here. It's awesome.
There's like 1,100 people, 1,200 people that come to these events. So there's over 1,000 bowls out there. And so what happens? You get a bowl as your your artist bowl. But the thing is, the premise is that it's an empty bowl. Let's fill those bowls and fight hunger.
Right.
And so as you come to the event, you get your bowl and your artistic bowl, and then you go around to all the restaurants that are involved, and you get your soup or a taco or things like that. And we're doing 2 soups ourselves. So we're doing a forest mushroom soup, and we're doing a baked potato soup on our end. So that's next Wednesday.
I know. It's neat, and they grab the bowl and they go around to the various foods and they can eat, and it's everything is always absolutely wonderful. Do you know? Have you seen the list of who's participating this year?
Well,
chef-wise?
Yeah. We got Riata and we got Buttons. We've got So it's just a long list. Of course, it's 40 of it. So, but you always reach out to all the chefs in town, and everybody's more than willing to donate their time and get out there. And it's great. It's a great event, great cause.
I love the event.
Yeah. So that's another thing for so. That right there is like, we have events like that all through the year. We're always trying to put our name out there just because we want people to know that and also their donations and everything else goes to a good cause, and it is working.
It is working, yeah. And that's the thing. That's what I'm saying when people say food bank. What the food bank does has changed. It's not just taking food in cans and giving it. It is so many things now. It's special events. It's culinary school. It's all kinds of you're making food to help feed people, and I just wish more people we could get more people involved.
Yeah, and so that's really why I guess we're kind of why we're here today.
That's right.
Everybody
that's right.
To with a little awareness to our program, and like I said, we run this culinary program with like I said, with a lot of great
passion,
chefs, and passion.
That's where it is. So let's talk about D. Chef D.
Chef D.
I've known Chef D a long time. I met him a long time downtown Fort Worth before he was a chef.
Yeah, exactly.
So he went to the program, right?
Exactly.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about how a student actually goes to your program, and now he's back working for the food bank.
Exactly. So Chef D, same thing. His nickname is Skillet. So you already know he knows how to throw down the cuisine.
I know.
So anyway, but the thing is that so when Chef D came through the program, it was like it's like an automatic fit. So when we had an opportunity to say, hey man, we need somebody that knows because as they're there, they're learning the production of the meal and things like that. So he jumped up like, hey, I can do this, and then next thing you know, we had the spot open, and it's been a blessing. I mean, we've got a great team, and Chef D went through our program. He's an ambassador to our program,
right? And
also he's just a great guy to work with.
He's a shining example. He's a shining example of how it works and how neat it is, because here's a guy that went through the program, and then he came back, and now he's giving his time back to the food bank, and he works with you. Absolutely. And he creates some stuff. He cooks a lot of good stuff.
Absolutely, yeah. So the thing is that's what the beauty of culinary is. I mean, everybody's got their own style, and we do a lot of different things in the program to show hey, look. He's the biscuit king.
That's for sure. Is, isn't he? He loves biscuits, doesn't he? Who doesn't love biscuits?
Yeah, no, but anyway, but the thing is that that being said, when he'd been through the program already, so the thing is he's got an inside track, and he knows exactly how to tell people, hey, listen, this is what you should be paying attention to, because this is how you're going to get accelerate your career.
Yeah,
for sure.
And he's funny.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We have a really good time, and that's the thing is too. It is any job. It's got its challenges, but the thing is that what the team that we have in place, we're very excited all the time to get these new students coming in, and it happens 3 times a year, so we're always on our toes to restart and new blood, I guess.
And not only that big kitchen, the 2 sides of the big kitchen and the big storm you have, and then the outdoor area, you also have a classroom, which is phenomenal.
Exactly. So that's the third component, really. But they're all as equally important. So what it is that we teach life skills training as well.
Right.
So anger
you hear
management,
that? Life skills training.
Yeah. So
and that's true though.
Yeah,
that's what you do.
Everybody that is in this workforce, if you can't get along with the guy next to you, you're just going to jump from job to job.
Team player.
So we always talk about that, and and the thing is that some of these, we have accept a lot of different backgrounds of students and things like that. So, we like to make sure that we get them as prepared to be in the workforce as possible. And some of those things need to come from the life skills training for sure.
That's for sure. I like that. I like that term, life skills. And all the time, I've never heard that life skills training. It's true.
Yeah,
that's something you have to have it. And like I say, if you're going to work in the kitchen, you have to be able to work with people.
Absolutely.
Because owning restaurants, I saw it. You can tell right away if someone does not in your culinary class, but if you go work with somebody in the kitchen, work with somebody close, you can tell in a day or two if they're going to be a team player or not.
No, you're right. You're right. And so that's the thing too, is that's where we're trying to get. As far as our students, we want to make sure that they know the ins and outs of when they graduate, to know that, hey, listen, we can only protect you so long in the classroom, because when you get out there, there's some kitchens out there. There's a lot of, it's a really hard business. It's hot. It's fast paced, and so there's a lot of stress involved. And so when you're in that stressful environment, some tensions can happen. And so you need to learn to let things roll off you, and you live to cook another day kind of thing.
I would say I'm on a lot of chef sites. I'm on chef sites now, not the one in Fort Worth, but I'm on chef sites from like Miami, LA, because I like to watch different concepts of what chefs do.
Gotcha.
And I'm on like Friday, and I saw one the other day. I saw a deal that came across the thing, and it said it was a joke, but basically it said, well, if you think that guy was cussing bad, you ought to work in the back of a kitchen and listen to the stress and what goes on in the back of a kitchen. And that's it just happens. It's just stressful back there. It gets hot. Things get motivated, tickets get crammed, lost. It's just a stressful deal. You have to be able to alleviate and manage that stress to keep operations going in a timely manner, even when things pop up and things happen.
Absolutely. And I touch base on this a lot when we teach the students. This business tree is, you're going to be working when everybody else is playing.
Yeah.
And so what happens is
holidays included.
Exactly.
That's the worst.
So what I try to tell people is about like Thanksgiving. So you're going to miss out on a lot of Thanksgivings and things like that, birthdays and et cetera. But the thing is, like Thanksgiving, I'd always have Monday after Thanksgiving off, and so I'd always like bring in some lobster or bring in something really cool and make my Thanksgiving more
that
special.
Day.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so then the people wanted to hang out with me on my Thanksgiving as well. So then that way I had something to look forward to and wasn't looking like I was missing out on something.
Here's what I think it is, and I see a lot of chefs comment on social media about this stuff. Here's what it is: the chef running the kitchen or the person working in the kitchen has passion. Whether it's a cook or a chef or somebody running the fryers or somebody working in the back of the house, the front of the house, all that's all combined. But that person's passionate about their job, and somebody else in their life or their family is not.
Yeah.
So some people some people love what they love what they do in the kitchen. They love being a chef. They're passionate about it, or they love working in the kitchen. They're passionate about it. But the rest of the people in their family are not. And that's what makes it hard.
Yeah. And that's what, if you don't take the time to have a real life, if you become, a slave to the kitchen,
right.
And next thing you know, you haven't taken care of your personal business. You're going to lose family. You're going to be, I guess, maybe considered maybe a workaholic, where you don't even get to watch your kids grow. Those things that we're trying to teach our students is, listen, you've got to have a balance, because you can work yourself to death in a kitchen environment for sure. So take some time to make sure you're grounded with your family, with your whatever it is that your activities, some golf or whatever it might be. Do something to make sure that it doesn't actually overwhelm you.
And that's the truth, though, because in a kitchen is kind of like running a kitchen in a restaurant is kind of like running a ranch. It's never done. You could spend somebody could work in a kitchen or a restaurant 24 hours a day, and you never get everything you want done.
Yeah.
I don't care whether it's creating new dishes. I don't care whether it's ordering product, rotation, cleaning, taking care of front, back of the house, whatever. It never gets done. So you could literally work,
Exactly.
24 hours a day. So you have to be able to manage yourself, not only manage your stress and the operations going on, but also manage your personal life.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it's hard, but you also have to have somebody in that realm of your life that accepts you for who you are and is able to work with your schedule.
Absolutely.
That's important too.
That is very important, because if you're in this, you're going to have to pay your dues no matter what. And then so you're going to have to be in that weekend night, holiday situation for some time for sure. And then maybe you become the owner one day, and then you have a trusty crew that you can hand it over to, and you can feel comfortable about leaving it. But those things are tough. It's a tough business, but it's also rewarding. So it's if you want to really get into this kind of thing, I would definitely research it before you jump both feet in.
I think here's what I think has happened too. I think because celebrities, and food has now become celebrities, and chefs have now been pushed to rock star status. Yeah. And so what happens is people see all these TV programs, they say some on social media, and I want to do that, I want to do that. They don't realize what's behind all that, the time it takes to get to that position, and what it involves, the sweat, the blood, the family life, everything it takes to get to that position. But all they see is the forefront, the finished product, so to speak, and not what goes into it. And so, and that's why it's important that you research and take care and figure out what you want to do. It's hard.
Absolutely. And that's the thing too. There's things that you will things will suffer along the way in any career. So you just got to take the time to make sure that you keep those things. I feel keep as much solid as you can. Some normalcy to your life, so that you can have a best of both worlds kind of thing.
So what else is going on in the food bank before we close out the show? Anything else we know about? You got graduation tonight.
Graduation night, new class starts on Monday. And then of course the information sessions are in July 8th and 9th.
July 8th and 9th.
So look us up on tfbu.org and just look us. And anybody that's interested, I would love to let you come tour the kitchen, maybe see a class, and kind of see what the daily
be blown away.
Life in the culinary world of the Veterinary Food Bank is, and maybe that'll excite you enough that you want to join up with us and learn.
Empty bowls.
Wednesday.
Is it still Will Rogers?
Yeah, Will Rogers.
Will Rogers. Okay. If you don't have a ticket, you can go in there and pay to walk in the door, right?
Yeah, you go online and also we'll get you.
You can go online, or you can pay when you get down there.
Yeah.
Okay. Before I finish, what's the best thing you ever ate, man, in your life?
Best thing I've ever eaten in my life. It's funny because my grandmother taught me a lot of stuff, and so whenever I look back, and food is memory to me anyway, so it'd have to be something that she made me. And you know what? It could be as simple as her chicken tacos. Actually, we were in tacos and tequila night, and I performed those as my taco at the taco tequila night at the Fort Worth Food and Wine Festival.
Oh, that's neat.
And so I was able to and so we did a really good job. I really enjoyed it, but it was her recipe. She had a little bit of different things in it, little fillers and things, peas and potatoes, which you might not think would be in a chicken taco,
but it's good.
But it's really good. So I guess I would say the chicken taco.
That's awesome. All right, so if you're trying to find us, we're at TreysChowdown.com, and that's Trey with the E. I always tell everybody all the good Treys have E's and not A's in their name. That's TreysChowdown.com. You can also find the Tarrant Area Food Bank at tafb.org. Yes. Go on there and check them out. They'd love to have you come down, and there's a lot of things they can do. They can donate their time. They can donate money. They can donate food.
Yep.
And that's it.
All right.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Love you, brother. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you so much.
See y'all next week. We'll be live Friday. Later. Good. Thank you, man.